Hey, Triple P Nation. Guys, can you do me a quick favor? Do you like watching videos, YouTube videos? Can you go subscribe at Triple P Life YouTube channel? We've been uploading some really incredible content specifically for you over the last few months. Of course, we've got our podcasts up there, our weekly success snack segment, all that's there for you and so much more. We would love for you to join us on the YouTube channel so we can share more great content so then you can share it with other people as well too. And of course, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. We'd love to hear from you.
Welcome to the Age of Awakening.
Please identify yourself. Enter.
Hey, Triple P Nation. Welcome back to the podcast where this week we're going to explore the tools, tactics, and strategies to help you achieve personal and business mastery. Because this mission is for you, entrepreneurs, professionals who want to learn and grow and expand their life. To go from ordinary to extraordinary. All you need is the tools, the support, the encouragement, the plan to make it happen. And this week, we're going to talk about how to up-level your mental well-being, your physical well-being. We're going to help you with it all because I've got Craig Goldberg as my guest. Craig is a relaxation expert and a technologist. He's on a quest to help humanity achieve a deeper sense of inner calmness through the use of sound and vibration technology. And guys, don't we need that? Isn't our world just an absolute, sometimes screwy place to be, like every freaking day? If you're paying attention at all in this election season, I mean, you got to be getting bombarded and stressed out. So what are you doing? What are you doing to reduce the stress and anxiety in your life? You're taking care of a family, maybe raising kids, running a business. Man, it's crazy. So Craig's really incredibly knowledgeable. He's got a passionate for helping people balance what we call homeostasis to get us out of this fight or flight syndrome that's creating all sorts of dis-ease. He is a Vibro-Acoustic Therapy practitioner. And here's the cool thing about his work. It's backed for over 40 years of research showing the many benefits of this type of therapy. And it's really based on the technical acoustics of vibrational technology. He's a patent inventor. His stuff is so cool. And I'm really excited to announce that Triple P Life is now an affiliate with inHarmony. We are excited to use their products. I've been using their meditation app now for at least a few weeks since I first met Craig. I ordered and have one of his meditation vibration cushions on the way. Excited for that. So, I never make recommendations or I don't make affiliations with just anyone. The show has been on for 6 years. We've had hundreds of guests. And so therefore, I want to make sure before I bring a product to you that I've tried it, I've used it, I know it works, I know the effectiveness, the efficacy, and just how it's going to help you transform to help you live your better life, which is of course what we call your Triple P life, which is about empowering your dreams, igniting your passion, and accelerating your prosperity. Okay, guys, so before we get started with Craig, it wouldn't be a normal show if we didn't get started with our success snack segment. And this week is the difference between success and struggle. Have you ever thought or wondered what's the difference between those who seem to be always getting stuff done and are experiencing lots of success and those who struggle? Well, in my 35 years of business, entrepreneurship, coaching, and mentoring, here's what I found. It's one thing and one thing only. It's called being intentional. People who are intentional about who they surround themselves with, the things they listen to, their routines, their daily habits, their behaviors, those who are intentional find themselves experiencing unprecedented success because we know success doesn't happen by accident. So you really got to be diligent in finding the right routines. And then when you have the habits and behaviors in place, then you got to surround yourself with the people and mentors who can help you, teach you, show you, guide you what real success looks like. So if you want to be more successful in your life, look at your habits, your thoughts, your behaviors. Where in your life do you need to become more intentional? Send me an email, Dr. J at Triple P Life. Tell me where you're going to start practicing intentionality. I'd love to hear it. Hey, Triple P Nation, welcome back to the podcast, where this week, as I mentioned earlier in my open, I am so excited to have, which I call my friend now, Craig Goldberg. Craig and I are doing a redo. We actually recorded this episode, Craig, about 2 weeks ago?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Some conversations are just meant to have twice.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We were just talking about how good it was, how much we enjoyed it. I'm assuming this one's going to be 2 times as better because I've had a chance to engage with Craig in multiple ways using his products, and we're going to get into that here in just a little bit. But for those of you who don't know, Craig is a relaxation expert. He works with people and really, he's got an incredible company called inHarmony. We're going to get to all that. So first of all, Craig, thanks for coming back on and being such a good sport and redoing this again.
My pleasure, Jay. It's an honor to be here. And really, it was a great conversation that nobody else is ever going to hear except us. And it was awesome. We'll recreate it as best we can. And this one will be even better because it'll be with new information, which is always awesome.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I was actually telling my daughter about it, and she's like, Daddy, I really want to check in, to these products. And I said, well, maybe we'll bring them into our new business. And because obviously we teach lifestyle, we talk about, practicing meditation. So it could be a real benefit to our community and the people that we serve. So first of all, what is a relaxation expert, Craig?
Right? It's like, right? Like, what is that? Like, man, I want to talk to that person.
Yeah.
Look, somebody who really needs to relax or needed to learn how to relax and still needs to relax. Somebody who is stressed and anxious, working and grinding away in New York, and in a lot of ways still working and grinding away here in Las Vegas, even today. I kind of only have one mode, and it's go mode. And then I rest. And I go and I go and I go, and then I rest. And your downtime is as important as your uptime. And I had a really hard time turning off the brain, quieting the mind. And of course, meditation and mindfulness is a big part of that. But if like 8 years ago, you were like, Craig, you're obviously, you're overworking yourself and you're burning out, I would have felt that. And you said, have a seat and just close your eyes and let me guide you through this meditation. I would have sat there while you're guiding me through this meditation, and I would have looked calm and quiet on the outside. And on the inside, I'd be thinking of all the things I'm not doing and all the things I should be doing, all the things I could be doing. And then something would go through my mind like, Jay's really awesome, so I'm just going to sit here quietly and let him think that I'm meditating, even though I'm not meditating, and this isn't working. It's not going to work. Like, I'm just thinking about all the things, right? Like this inner dialogue that just won't shut up and won't turn off. And then I got introduced to Vibroacoustic Therapy, which is a big fancy word for vibration. Acoustic is sound. Basically the study of sound and vibration and its impact on our physiology. And it turns out it guides the mind, body, and spirit into that deeper meditative state, specifically in alpha, theta, delta, and even up into gamma brainwave state, which are the meditative brainwave states. And it's really powerful. So here I am, this stressed and anxious guy that needs to find ways to calm and relax. I get introduced to sound therapy, music therapy, the acoustic instruments, bells, the chimes, the gong, the didgeridoo, these vibratory acoustic instruments. And I'm an audiophile. I want that when I want it. So we developed, we didn't invent it. It's been around for 45 years, but we tapped into and now developed Vibroacoustic Therapy, which is what we call relaxation furniture, and a conversation that this relaxation expert has, teaching and educating on how to reach deeply relaxing states of being very quickly, very efficiently to help recharge, reactivate, and then get up and go.
Craig, what was your profession prior to getting into this? Was health and fitness and wellness, I should say, mindset, was that on your radar, or were you something completely different?
Most recently, yes. Before that, so I started working full-time when I was 19. I'm 45. I just turned 45 back in May. I started working full-time when I was 19, and I started selling telecom services in New York City, literally door-to-door. 9/11 hit, and we could no longer go door-to-door because every building had security, so we shifted to the phones. I was banging 300 phone calls a day, calling on behalf of AT&T, MCI, Sprint, Cable and Wireless. I mean, back in the day, it was different carriers, but it was largely a gold rush in that world. So I worked in corporate for a long time. I worked in managerial accounting And then got out of that business in 2014 down in San Diego, and then started basically a couple startups and worked as an entrepreneur. And I've been an entrepreneur straight through, but never really made that my full time until 2014, 2015. Had a few companies that failed and didn't make it anywhere. And then in 2016, I got introduced to my now business partner, Dom. And I laid down and I had an experience. About 4 years prior to that, in 2012, my wife kind of had her awakening. My wife got sick, and doc after doc, nobody could really tell us what was wrong. In the end, it wound up being gluten. And we figured out real quick that that we live in a toxic world. So we started to shift into health and wellness back in 2012, 2013, 2014, and studying these three main environments: what we put in our mouth, what we keep on our skin, and what we allow to be kept in the air around us. And my wife and I dove deep down just about every rabbit hole you can when it comes to health and wellness. And eventually we realized how toxic the world is around us, and we began cleaning up everything we put in our mouth, everything we put in our skin, and everything we keep in the air around us. And then teaching people about that. And that meant no perfume, no cologne. It meant no deodorant, because back then there really weren't many safe alternatives. Now, of course, there are, but this was 12 years ago. And we found the power of essential oils. My wife and I were traveling the world teaching about essential oils and their efficacy, how to use them day to day, what they could replace. And it was at these yoga retreats, conferences, trade shows that were focused on, for us, essential oils, I would gravitate towards these sound baths, acoustic instruments. I don't know what it was about it, but I would lay down in front of a bowl or a gong or a didgeridoo, and I'd wake up 45 minutes later feeling like $1 million. Now I know what it is, but back then I didn't know. I just knew that this felt really good. I'm going to do this often. So then I wanted to feel that at home, and I'm an audiophile. I like good music, and I like crisp, clean audio, and I've always had a great sound system in my house. I went out and bought a gong CD, a recording of somebody playing a gong, and I spread out, starfished out in my living room, and I put my center channel in between my legs and the front left and front right and rear left, and I was just cranking this CD around, hoping that I would start to vibrate. Of course, I was using the wrong technology, and that did not work at all. A few months later, after this failed experiment, I met my business partner, Dom, in 2016. And a couple people called me and were like, hey, you got to get down to Dom's office and check out what he's working on right now. And then Dom called me and he was like, hey, you got to come down to my office and check out what I'm working on. I was like, okay, universe, I hear you. I'm coming down. So I go down to his office and I have my first sound lounge experience. And I was blown away. About halfway through the 15-minute session, I took the headphones off and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. You guys did it. And they were like, just put the headphones back on. Like, how does it work? Like, what is going on? They were like, just put the headphones back on. We'll tell you everything. Just enjoy your session. And they tried to get me do a second session after that. And I was like, no, this just isn't going to work. Like, I've got questions. Like, how does this work? And they started to show me. They showed me the tactile transducer that creates the vibration. They started to talk about the impact of sound and vibration on our physiology, on our neurology. They introduced me to the study called Vibroacoustic Therapy. They introduced me to the history, all of the different scientific research that was already out there back then. This is going back 8 years ago. And I became enamored. I got, to you and your daughter's delight, I got my first sound lounge in my house, and I was on it 3 times a day, morning, noon, and night. My nervous system was unbelievably dysregulated, like so many others that are listening to what's going on. So many of us are walking around in fight or flight all day long. It's not healthy. It's not how we're designed. It's not how the body is designed. When you're in fight or flight or survival mode, your body has a different set of priorities that it's working on to survive. When you're in calm and relaxed, or that parasympathetic nervous system response, your body has a different set of priorities that are designed to optimize and heal. If your body is in fight or flight, or if your body is in survival mode, it needs to make sure the vessel survives. It is not doing the daily maintenance tasks that it needs to optimize your performance and keep you healthy. It's doing the things it needs to do to keep you alive. And there's a big difference in that. And the body really only has one response to stress. Whether that stress is physical, emotional, mental, nutritional, relational, financial, it doesn't matter. The body has one response, that sympathetic nervous system response. And so many of us are walking around in this triggered nervous system response all day long, from the moment we wake up until the moment we go to bed, day after day, week after week, month after month. And we start to develop these chronic ailments and issues because the body is not in its calm and relaxed state. And this has underlying impact to how your body functions and how your life goes on day to day. It's really remarkable.
It is. There's a lot to unpack there. First I want to talk about, because you hit a word that just completely resonates with me, and I've discussed it here on the show many times, is dysregulation when it comes to how our bodies is reacting to its environment internally and externally. And I don't think people quite understand how powerful that word is, and more importantly, the role it's playing in their quality and quantity of life. And so I think let's just take just a minute or two, really, because you explained it well. You explained it really, really well. Is for people to understand is that there's this level of balance, what is called homeostasis, between sympathetic and parasympathetic, right? Always being parasympathetic is not a good thing. Being always sympathetic is not a good thing. There's a balance. But our environment is set up in which that we are defaulting to sympathetic on a regular basis. And that's based on how we eat, move, and think, the three things we do all day, every day. So then if you're not intentional to reset to parasympathetic using techniques like Craig's talking about here, that we've talked about many times in other ways that we've discussed, you are literally going down the path to accelerated decline and death. And that's inarguable. Any physiologist, any health expert will tell you that.
Look,
Agreed?
I'll bring that. I agree 100%. When you look at the top 10 reasons for all-cause mortality, okay,
Right.
You can Google this right now. You can just put into Google, top 10 reasons all-cause mortality. You're going to get the 2020 census, which is just 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago at this point. And you can look at the top 10 reasons why Americans die. 6 out of 10 are rooted in stress and anxiety, meaning they're further exacerbated and even exist because the body is stressed and anxious. Heart disease, right? A lot of these cancers. Like, it's pretty remarkable when you start to look at why we die now. Fentanyl is, if you look at today's number, now being 2024, and we're recording this, fentanyl is now up there. COVID is up there. But if you go back to the 2020 census, and we'll have another one in another 6 years, and we'll start to see this again, stress and anxiety is at the root of so much and so many issues that we deal with as far as chronic ailments that eventually take our lives. So you remove the stress and anxiety, and look, another 6 reasons for death are going to move into the top 10 because it's the top 10, but you're at least removing the top 10 that are rooted in stress and anxiety. It's why I'm so passionate about what I do and how we do it, is because at our core, we need to live a more calm and relaxed life. And stress and anxiety further exacerbates so many different conditions, because you're right, that calm and relaxed state and that priority list that I talked about, you're talking about killing off dead cells, you're talking about detox pathways, you're talking about all of these energetic systems that take energy in order to run, that the body diverts energy from so that it can survive, so that you can get that adrenaline push and the pump to your muscles, so that a mom, the example that I think about all the time is, you hear stories of like a mom who's like 5'4", 110, picked up a car and pulled her son out from underneath it. Like, how does she do that? Well, she does that through adrenaline. She does that through cortisol. She does that by diverting energy from these maintenance tasks in the body to the muscles that need to save her son. And she doesn't even feel it, but she's sore for days afterwards because she just got that major pump in her muscles so that she can do that. But how does that happen? It happens through adrenaline and cortisol, and you have to take that energy from mental capacity, from digestion, from the reproductive organs. And that's great if it's for 15 minutes to pull her, son or daughter out from the dangerous environment. It's not good day after day, week after week, month after month. Your body becomes dysregulated, to use that word again.
Yeah, it's such an important point. I hope everyone really understands that and pays attention to it, because the choices that you're making, whether consciously or subconsciously, is causing the dysregulation. And I want you to be aware of it. So as we're going and talking about this, that you guys can maybe be more intentional about, it's time to start working on just creating a level of calmness, a routine, a habit, a behavior each and every day to set time aside for yourself, because the best investment you'll ever make is in yourself.
Pays dividends.
Oh my God, forever. Forever. So you said something earlier Because you're an assertive type A personality, as I am, and a lot of listeners here are as well too. Although it's not just unique to assertive personalities, is we go 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 go, and there's no off switch, and you were kind of in that mode, in that realm. So talk specifically about people. They're taking care of kids, they're taking care of a home, they got a full-time job. I mean, their head is spinning. You mean I'm going to try to find time each and every day to sit down and meditate? Yeah. Good luck, Jay. Good luck, Craig, on that.
So
talk about that.
So here's the cool thing. All right. As I look outside to what would be, society and life, this society that we've co-created together, because I'm as guilty as this as as you are. And so is everybody who's listening. It's a complicated one. To your point, there is more things to do than I have time in the day to do them. If I didn't have a business that was exploding, and I've literally been at my desk or in an appointment since 8:30 this morning. I've been on the phone with somebody or on a Zoom or doing demos here in my home studio since it's 2:52 as we're recording this, since 8:30 this morning. I'm going to be sitting at this desk until midnight because I'm launching a new website tonight, right? That's before I get some one-on-one time with my wife. That's before my daughter comes home from school around 6 o'clock, and I'm going to want to divert some time and energy towards her, which I'm not going to get to do tonight. That's I'm prepping to go to Burning Man right now. I can't even tell you the amount of prep work that is happening outside of my work hours, which not today, right? But we all have, that's before I even get to my daughter's schedule with friends and birthday parties and school requirements, and it's before I get to my wife's schedule of what the honey-do list and the things that she wants me to do. It's before I get to my 10 inboxes like we talked about, right? I have 10 email inboxes, not to mention a mailbox outside where nothing constructive ever comes to my mailbox outside. It's all just spam or mail that's sent to the current resident. Like, there's no way to turn it off. And 10 minutes every single day, I've got to go to my mailbox and waste 10 minutes of my day. There is more to do than there is time in the day for every single one of us. Here's the deal. If I get a good night's sleep like I did last night, I got 8 hours. I was in bed at 8. I got up at 7. That's awesome. I can actually charge the day. I have all the mental capacity and the energy, me personally, to charge the day. And yet, in the middle of the afternoon, I will still break and get on my sound lounge for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe 20, depending on what I can squeeze into that calendar on that particular day. And the reason is this, to your point and to your question. Vibration and sound helps you to be more efficient with your downtime. We all know how we feel after like a 5 or 10 minute nap. My daughter she's a manifesting generator. She has unbelievable reserves of energy until she doesn't, and then she just crashes. And when she comes home at 6 o'clock, all she wants to do is play, roughhouse, throw me into the couch, climb on me, like the whole nine. And every now and again, when I'm exhausted after working and having that mental capacity all day long, sometimes I'll just lay down and I'll close my eyes and I'll wait for her. She'll be coloring or something, and I'll just close my eyes for a second and doze off. And then she'll be like, "Daddy, play with me. Daddy, draw with me. Daddy." And I'll like snap out of it and I'll be like, "Oh man." And I'll see that I just got like 5 minutes where I was like out cold. I feel fantastic after that. Like that was the recharge that I needed to like go, go, go. And when I lay down on the sound lounge and I'm inducing a very specific brainwave state, specifically theta or alpha brainwave state, which is like a daydream state, the body rejuvenates exponentially quicker than it would if it were just taking that 5-minute power nap. The math goes a little something like 22 minutes in theta is equivalent to about 6 hours of sleep. So now all of a sudden you're like, okay, cool. I only have 20 minutes to take a quick little break and I have access to my sound lounge. 20 minutes in theta is going to give me 6 hours of sleep. Now all of a sudden I know I can charge the rest of my afternoon and I can grab myself some downtime. Another time this is phenomenal is when I don't get a good night's sleep. We've all had plenty of nights where I can't get into bed at 11. I've got a project or something that I need to work on. I'm going to be up until 2 or 3 in the morning. Guess what? My daughter wakes up at 6:45 every morning, regardless of what time I go to bed, which means if I'm up until 3, I'm getting up at 7 and I've got to rock and roll and I got to be on point. Well, I can do that. But by 11 o'clock in the morning, I'm ready for that power nap, and I go straight to my sound lounge for another 20 minutes in theta. And then I'll get another 4 to 6 hours out of feeling good. And then sometimes I might need another sound lounge session. If I can get 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it is, I know I'm giving my body what it needs to rejuvenate. I am creating a space for my brain, my body, to do what it needs to do to recuperate, rejuvenate, and give me the power and the strength I need to push forward. So to your point, I want to be as efficient with that downtime as I possibly can. And sound and vibration, which by the way feels amazing. It's super relaxing and calming. And even if I'm amped and my brain is going, I know I'm giving my body a rest and relaxation. And over a 22-minute session, usually when my brain is in its strongest go mode, I'll go for maybe 5-8 minutes, and then I wake up and it's over. Like, I literally just come to and I'm like, man, was that really 22 minutes? That's amazing. Sometimes it feels much longer than that because of the dreams that you have while you're in that state. And other times it just goes by in a split second. And I'm like, wow, music meditation is over. That really was 22 minutes. All right, let's go.
Yeah. I don't know if the audience can hear in the background there. You've got some going on right now.
I do.
Is that the heart?
I'm actually throat. Today I'm throat chakra. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
let me see if I can't make that.
You want to bring it up a little?
Here. Yeah, totally. Here we go. How's that? Can you hear that?
Sounds amazing. Yeah, no. So the deep resonance is what comes through. I don't know if I'm sure they can pick that up. That's incredible.
Let's see if we can change that a little bit. There you go.
So when you and I had talked previously, you had it on in the background. I thought that was really cool. And sometimes when I'm writing in creative mode, I'll put music on. Nothing, it's got to be a certain vibe. And so I've been working on this new presentation I'm doing for our what we call our GPS to Success Summit in November. And so it's very creative. And I started using your app. And I've been using the heart. And it's just, I don't know, man, it just gets me into this flow state, this chill, relaxed state, and content just begins to come to me, or at least gives me inspiration to go look and get ideas and things like that. And then I've started to implement it into my morning meditation routine as well, too, trying different ones. So I want to share specifically with the audience is that I know so many of you, because we've discussed it many times, and I've had other meditation experts on, you said, Jay, this is something I can't get there because my wife's that way, right?
By the way, that's me.
She can't quiet her mic down.
Oh,
you're the same way?
I cannot meditate without sound and vibe. Now I can, because now I've trained myself over the last 8 years. But no, 9 years ago, if you were like, Craig, you should sit down and meditate, as I started with an opening, like, not happening. Can't do it. Just couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy. And so I think specifically for those of you who know it's good for you, who want to engage in a practice of meditation and have that trouble turning your mind off, I think you're going to find a dramatic shift and change in your practice of meditation, utilizing Craig's products and his app and such. And again, we'll get specific about it here in just a minute. But I'll tell you, man, it's really powerful stuff, because I like how you really connect the importance of, you talked about Vibroacoustic Therapy and its relationship to mindfulness. So question I have for you, because I understand, again, my audience understands the different brain waves. So the importance of theta. Theta is when we're in the most autosuggestive. Again, that's when the body's going into recovery mode. But we can begin to shift our subconscious mind and actually work to shift our negative belief patterns. Do you ever go into your therapy with a specific intention from a mindset standpoint?
Absolutely. I do that myself, and I do it with my clients when they do come by.
Okay.
Right? So the question that I ask, and you'll see this in the tutorial, how do you feel and how do you want to feel? The music meditation you choose is the bridge between how you currently feel and how you want to feel. And the intention behind that is right there. I happen to listen to Heart. 33 minutes in Heart on my Sound Lounge is like the ultimate life tune-up for me. Because I literally have almost the same visualization every time. So we have 3 different heart chakra alignment music meditations, if you will. Our original Solfeggio is our first, and it's 639. Then we have a chakra balancing, our original chakra balancing music meditations. We have one specific for heart. I think it's 12 minutes. I forget how long exactly. I don't listen. Yeah.
Craig, Can you take a quick minute for those who don't understand what a chakra is? Can you speak
absolutely.
to that?
So we have many chakras in the body. Predominantly, there are 7 main chakras or energy centers, if you will, starting from root, working their way up to the crown. And they have different colors associated with them, and they have different frequencies associated with them. And it's not an exact science on what frequencies are associated with each chakra. There's actually, even in our app, we use 2 or 3 different frequencies for each chakra. It's more of an embodiment, and it's a focal point for Reiki practitioners, for example, are working with energy. They're working through these energetic centers that also correlate to feelings and experiences, emotional experiences that we have. For example, root has to do with security. It has to do with a foundation in financial security or physical security. And each energy center, each chakra has its own application, if you will. So there are times where we just came out with a new series, which is, we call it Chapter 2, the Chapter 2 Chakra series. It's not overly complicated. And they're my favorite. Not only do we have them in the app in 11, 22, 33, 44 minute durations, but we also have 11-hour music meditations on our YouTube channel, which is what I stream all day long. I turn it on in the morning when I wake up. I do pay Google for a subscription, so I don't have to deal with and hear commercials. And I literally stream either root, solar plexus, heart, or throat when I'm doing podcasts and when I'm speaking and creating or doing anything that has to do with speech. I will do throat. And that Chapter 2 heart chakra, 33 minutes, it is the ultimate tune-up. I literally see myself as a Care Bear. Remember what Care Bears were, right? With the bellies and the heart and I literally watch hearts fly out of my belly for 33 minutes. And I watch those hearts go up into the atmosphere and smack every human being. Like I can watch the heart land on them like a puffy cloud that just dissipates and disappears, and their entire body I watch get energized with a love bomb from my stomach. It's the most remarkable thing I've ever seen. I love doing it. My vibe is so high when I come off of 33 minutes of that experience. There's nothing that can shake or rattle me. Nothing. And the people that I talk to, my energetic field is now infectious. And people are just like, wow, what's going on? Like I walk into a room and everybody in the room knows like Craig is here. It's really a remarkable feeling and a powerful tool. I'm glad you chose that one because it's also phenomenal for writing. And anytime where I'm going to be pouring myself into an audience, that heart chakra is fantastic. I've spoken in front of CEOs and business owners, 500, 1,000 of them in a room. And I'll do these workshops where we actually talk about the science of mindfulness, like what's actually happening when we close our eyes to meditate. And there's the mind. We've spoken a lot about some of these topics, but I open with a visual, I call it a visualization practice. It's a guided music meditation. And anywhere that I speak, I always make sure that there's a great sound system with subs. And I play my music meditations among the entire group. And it doesn't matter when I speak. It could be over dinner. It could be at a rowdy part of the day. Inevitably, when the music meditation comes on and I ask everybody to close their eyes and listen to my words and take a couple soft breaths, you can hear a pin drop. Every single person in the room drops in because the sound and music guides them into that meditative state. And it's remarkable what happens with a group of people when they're dropped into that state at the same time. They actually do have a very similar experience. It's pretty wild.
Yeah. I've been in experiences like that. In fact, I was in a small mastermind group about 20 years ago, and we did it. That was in Sedona, and we had a didgeridoo player come out, and we were up by the vortexes. It was one of the most surreal experiences I've ever had. That was my first experience with sound and that resonance. I mean, I've been a musician all my life, so obviously also being an audiophile, but that's a different experience. And that was my first awakening to the power of vibrational tone and energy, through sound having an impact, because I was changed after that. I wanted more of that, So I have a question for you. It's interesting because on the app, I noticed 11, 22, 33. So is there a thing with 11?
So I like the numerology. That's really it. When you look at the science, So there's
Okay.
a formal body of research that governs what we do. It's called Vibro-Acoustic Therapy. You can find on our science and research page actually tonight. So by the time this airs, we will be on our news site. I'm launching my news site tonight. And we've got a revamped science and research page. And in it, you'll find bodies of research that talk about vibroacoustic therapy, its history. You'll find published papers and literary reviews. We're doing our own literary review that's going to be published up there in the next few weeks. But the body of research talks about 22 minutes, 23 minutes being a formal session. I didn't like the numerology of 23, so I chose 22. And then once we had 22, I was like, well, we should probably cut 11-minute music meditations, and then 33 and 44 and 66. And before you know it, you're just kind of bouncing down this road of, but there's another reason that unfolded afterwards. We have a lot of wellness centers, massage therapists. We have clinics that use our technology as part of what they're doing. Well, an 11-minute session is actually perfect because that room is then being used for 15 minutes. Because you're not just going to start right away. You're going to take your shoes off. You're going to settle. You might take a few deep breaths and then start your session. And then right when it ends, you don't want to get up and out. You want to kind of sit in that space that you just created and assimilate the transformation that just occurred. Take a few deep breaths and kind of have yourself before you get out of that room. So, and for 22 minutes, you want a little more time to adjust. So 22 minutes, that room is being used for a half hour. So it just kind of worked out really well. And I recommend 44-minute sessions for the hour room rental. So we have so many clients, about 50% of our clients are using them in a clinic or some type of wellness facility. So now we come out with what we call a full feature music meditation, which will be 30, 40, 35, 38, an hour and a half, sometimes 90 minutes, sometimes 2 hours. And we will cut shorter versions of those music meditations specifically for our clientele that are using them as part of a set time frame. This way you've got a start and a stop, a beginning and an end to each music meditation. The app by design just plays that music meditation, but we now have a repeat function and we now have a playlist function. So you can actually stack 11-minute music meditations back to back to create whatever duration you want, and you can set it to play through the playlist and stop at the end of the playlist or repeat the playlist at the end as well. We've got some pretty nice functionality built into the app now.
That's cool. So there are so many choices on the app. As a new user, how would I know what would be other than just trying different stuff? Is there, hey, if you're feeling this way, you might want to check this out. Is there a little bit of guidance to new users?
And there's more and more coming out every single day. On the new website and our new app page, you will find a listing, a visual catalog of all of the music meditations. As of today, we have 184 music meditations in our app. We add about a new music meditation every week, and sometimes that's in multiple durations. So you can have as many as 4 or 5 new music meditations. It's a lot to keep up with. I do recommend people are invited to join us on our Telegram channel. It's where we do most of our regular posting. We have a user group that everybody who uses our app and buys our hardware is invited to. It's a private group. It's private so that people can talk freely without worrying about prying eyes or anybody looking at what's going on. The only people that are in there are people that use our technology day in and day out. We have these 3 recommended paths that you can also see in the tutorial. You can see that in the Google Play and iOS App Store visuals that are there, and you can also see these by clicking on the hamburger menu in our app and then going down to the tutorial. And in it, we have 3 basically recommended paths. The first is our original Solfeggio frequency tracks, 174 through 963, and that's 10 music meditations. And then we have our journey of life, which are these emotional experiences that we have on this journey of life. So we have a music meditation for reflection and clarity. There's points in time when you need clarity on something. Well, here's something to play. We have one for grief. We have one for anxiety. We have one for abundance. We have one for inspiration. And quite literally, when you sit down, the intention that we put into that music meditation is for you to be inspired. And I would challenge you to not walk away from our inspiration chat, music meditation, completely and overflowing with inspiration. Like the first time I listened to this music meditation, it was a 5-minute and 30-second, what was going to be a demo track of this track Inspiration. I'm not even kidding. My face exploded about 2 minutes into it. And when I mean face exploded, I mean like crying, tears of joy, mucus flying out of my nose, my mouth. I was bawling basically in gratitude and appreciation because I immediately, as soon as this music meditation started playing, I was immediately surrounded by all of our affiliates, all of my partners that help me to make what I do, my business partner, Dom. I was completely surrounded by all of these smiling, I'm getting chills even as I think about this now, these smiling faces of gratitude and appreciation, of credit that was being thrown my way. And I drifted back. I was on a big stage and I drifted back, and all of my partners started to walk in front of me. As my business partner, Dom, grabbed me and we were shoulder to shoulder as we were drifting backwards. And all of our partners, all of our affiliates, all of the people that help us to build our business were all stepping into the limelight and getting showered with this love and affection. I mean, if that doesn't inspire you as an entrepreneur, I don't know what does. Now, that's my vision. It's not your vision, but I've had people over and over and over again that are telling us about the experience they have when they listen to our inspiration track in particular. It's very uplifting. And to your point, just scrolling through the filter in the top right, and then you go to the Journey of Life category, and you'll see the names plain as day are for that specific intention. Here's the cool part. You can't go wrong. Like, it's not like you're going to sit down with a specific intention and then either not get it or do harm. At the end of the day, our music meditations are safe for everybody. Our music meditations are designed to be broad spectrum and not any one specific frequency. And they are quite literally designed to help you to bring balance into your world. You can't go wrong. Like, somebody just put up in our Telegram chat this morning, like, is there a music meditation for cysts? And I was like, all of them. All of them. Like, why is that cyst in your body? Well, chances are it's an inflammatory response to something, right? So all of them are designed to help the body relax and to help you to get into that relaxed state, to get out of a sympathetic nervous system response into parasympathetic. They all do that. So as specific as we want to get, I think modern medicine has done a really good job of identifying the specialist and like being very specific to a particular treatment, when the reality is, when it comes to vibroacoustic therapy, take a step back and just understand that your entire body and your entire system performs better when it's calm and relaxed. It designs the way that it was so brilliantly designed to operate when it is calm and relaxed. And at the core of most of our chronic ailments and issues is that sympathetic nervous system response. So disengage the stress and anxiety, replace it with calm and relaxed, and watch a lot of your dis-ease go away. It's kind of like magic.
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't want to de-emphasize what you just said there. It's really true. I mean, I've been in healthcare for 25 years as a practitioner, 35 years in total. That is absolutely true. When you remove the agent or agents that are essentially undermining your well-being, when you remove it, so whether it's, you mentioned about your wife's issue with gluten, so whether it's in the diet, or whether it's from not enough movement, or if it's from toxic thoughts and stress and anxiety, when you replace that, so I always say in the balance of homeostasis, we're either sufficient and growing, or we're deficient and dying. So what you do and what you offer is a level of sufficiency to create regulation and balance and homeostasis. So naturally, the body physiologically has to respond in kind, and therefore, guess what happens? Inflammation decreases, immune response increases, right? All the hormones, adrenaline and cortisol, begin to diminish, and so on and so forth. So I just want to say to everybody, what he's saying is absolutely true. It's not just a sales pitch; it's legitimate, and it's backed up by science.
Absolutely. Well, what's interesting? You brought up, sales pitch. Like, I am so passionate about what we do, and it's like the hair club for men, if you remember, right? Like, I'm not.
Yeah.
I selfishly maintain this business, and by the way, it takes an amazing amount of energy, and I absolutely love it, and I'm super passionate about it. My business partner Dom, we love the impact that we get to have with our technology. I'm on my tech every day, not because I have to, not because I'm documenting it with no. Like, I'm going for my own mental and physical well-being, and I'm using the tech at night, and I'm using the tech during the day to catch up on Z's and to help me drift into a more creative zone, to help me create better content, but not for any other reason than sound and vibration helps to bring the body into balance. And I use the tech. When I first got my sound lounge 8 years ago, this November, I was literally on it 3 times a day, morning, noon, and night. I woke up, got on it. Some point in the middle of the day, I was on it, and some point at night. Now I probably do one session a day. I'm playing frequencies all day long. So there are certainly days where I'm go, 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 and I don't get to get on it at all. But predominantly, me and my wife are on the tech every single day. And I tell people I selfishly kind of create all that we're creating so that I continue to have access to this incredible technology. I have a meditation cushion here. I have quite a few actually, but I have a meditation cushion in my healing room. I have a massage table. I get body work on our massage table. I try and do it twice a month. I'm regularly using this technology day in and day out. And by the way, so is Anthony, who creates all of our music. The feedback that we have in this Telegram user group, I'm excited for you to see it, Jay, because you're going to see feedback that we get from people who are like, hey, could you create a music meditation in C#? And I'm like, cool. What's the science and research? And I'm like, well, here's an article I read. And I pass it over to Anthony. And Anthony's like, this looks awesome. Let's do it. And then like 3 weeks ago, we just came out with quantum healing in C#. And he was like, he's like, I don't know how exactly or what exactly is going on, but you've got to try this music meditation. It's incredible. And sure enough, I was shot out of a cannon on a journey unlike anything I've ever had before. And I woke up and I was like, yeah, this is a new favorite. Like, so we're just intuitively hanging out. A bunch of guys. Dom, my business partner, uses the tech on a regular basis for his own health issues, his own family. My 4-year-old daughter's on it all the time. My wife is using it on a regular basis. It's a beautiful thing to have access to this tech. And to your point, none of this is really a sales pitch. It's really just me learning and understanding why meditation is so important, but more importantly, what's actually happening when we meditate. By the way, the word meditation gets a lot of grief. Like, that is a challenging word for a lot of people that, like me, that couldn't meditate or didn't know how to meditate or didn't understand the point of meditation. Let me simplify this for you. Meditation is simply a conscious perception of a slower brainwave state. It's really important, especially for your audience that already knows the brainwave states. By the way, sleep is the same way. Your brain doesn't sleep. Right. Your brain is actually quite active. Now, different parts of your brain are not active when you're sleeping. But in essence, your involuntary muscles, your heart's still going, you're still breathing, your brain, your nervous system is still activated. It's cleaning up its desk. It's getting things organized. There's actually quite a bit that's happening as you move from beta into alpha, down into theta and delta and up into gamma. There's different things that the body is doing, but your brain doesn't sleep. Even a hibernating bear, there's still brain activity. It's reduced dramatically, but there's still brain activity. So it's this conscious perception of a slower brainwave state. All you're doing with sound and vibration, and meditation for that matter, is giving your brain the ability to move in and out of these different brainwave states, which we need to efficiently and effectively to have our optimal human performance. And most of us aren't getting it. So this teaches the brain to move in and out of those different brainwave states seamlessly and efficiently. And then you take that with you when you go out into the real world. So now all of a sudden, I think I used this example before because it's one of my favorites and it happens to me all the time. You're at the grocery store and the person in front of you has like 150 items and they've put the wrong 4-digit PIN for their debit card in like 10 times. And you're like, dude, I will just pay for it. I don't know how I'm going to afford it. It's $250, but I'll pay for it. Let's get out. I just want to pay for this bottle of water and go. And that frustration that comes up, it's like, now I just take a couple deep breaths. I hear that music meditation in my head. I might read a magazine or make some small talk with the person behind me or crack a joke. And I notice my patience is so much broader and deeper. I'm just a better human. So there's a lot of very practical applications to this knowledge. And once I started learning about what's happening in our head when we close our eyes to meditate and its connection to getting outside and the sun and the earth, and there's a lot of different things that we can do to help the mind, body, and spirit optimize performance. And once you learn this stuff, you can't like unhear it. It's pretty remarkable.
More importantly, once you've experienced it, you want more of it, right? Yeah. Question for you is, because we talked about you and I being audiophiles, so we're fortunate to have really nice systems. So what if someone doesn't have, really high-end system that gets the deep bass resonance? Will they get the same benefit from using, let's say if they used earpods or
Look, here's the cool part. Dom, my business partner, actually just forwarded me an Instagram post of of one of these AI voices basically talking about how listening to frequencies on YouTube doesn't work, and because of the compression. And I replied back to Dom, and I was like, Dom, I actually think this is bullshit. I think they're wrong. I can't prove it yet, but we will, because now that I saw that post, I'm like, oh, we need to prove this. The reality is, if you're watching this, you're on a computer or a phone, right? Like, you're on something that has built-in speakers, probably. So even if you're listening to our frequencies through this little Bluetooth speaker or the headphones that come, I don't know if headphones come with the iPhone anymore, but even just listening to the iPhone headphones or the Samsung headphones, that's a great tool. If you have access to a small Bluetooth speaker, that's wonderful. Like, I love that people buy our equipment, and it is a next level experience. The reality is, using our app and a small Bluetooth speaker, you can absolutely get the resonance and the benefit of our sound and frequency, or just using these frequencies coming through here. Yes, YouTube has compression. Yes, there is compression even in our app. There wasn't for the longest time. Until we got to about 150, 160 music meditations, we didn't need compression. Now we do start having a lot of playback issues for our users. So we did switch to a compressed file. That doesn't make a difference. I sit here with the tools that measure frequency that's coming out of the Sound Lounge through our app, and it's the same frequencies that's in the music that was recorded, and it's the same thing that's coming out of the Sound Lounge. So yeah, it does not matter what system you have access to. Look, for most of us, our car is the best sound system that we have access to. I don't recommend listening to our music meditations while you're driving, although people do. But hop in your car, throw that driver's seat back, put it in park, and push play. You have a home stereo system, play through that. There's lots of different ways that you can get access to it, even if you're not an audiophile with high quality sub and that sort of thing. Like, which, by the way, I'd recommend making an investment in. But invest in our equipment. There's our meditation cushion at $699. It is, one, it's a great deal, and two, it is a phenomenal delivery system for sound and frequency to the body. It's a great entry-level piece. We're pretty excited about it.
As I mentioned, I'm looking forward to get my first one. Tell me about some of the other products that you have.
So our biggest product is our inHarmony Sound Lounge 2. We just redesigned all of our products, actually. 3 out of 4 products in December of 2023. We installed high-fidelity speakers in everything that we do. So our inHarmony Sound Lounge 2, 4 tactile transducers. That's this beautiful device that creates the vibration. You can see it's pretty sizable. I mean, that's my head. I have a pretty big head, and it's about 4.5 inches wide, 2 inches thick, and it hooks up to audio cables. There's 4 of these in the Sound Lounge. There's 2 of these in the Practitioner and massage table, and there's 1 of these in each meditation cushion. And then we use a dual amplifier. The dual amplifier is half for the sub, the transducer, and the low-end frequency, and then 20 watts for either, these are our inHarmony headphones, actually, which we just came out with. You can plug the cable into either side. These are phenomenal headphones built to the same spec as the Sennheiser HD280 Pros. So we have the inHarmony Sound Lounge 2, the massage table, and the Practitioner, which are specifically to augment body work, and then the meditation cushion and our app. And then we've got a bunch of merch. We've got a phenomenal eye mask that I absolutely love. It's organic cotton with memory foam inside it. And then these headphones, which we built from the ground up, which are also, they're my favorite. I love them. So we're just really good at building high quality items. I like the stuff. If it doesn't meet my standard, we don't make it. And I've got pretty high standard.
It's a good rule of thumb for sure. And I'm excited to announce that an affiliate program we set up with you guys. So Triple B Nation, you guys, the link to our affiliate for inHarmony and all Craig's great products will be on our show notes. So make sure you check that out. But you can go to eHarmony.com.
inHarmony.
Right,
eHarmony is a little different.
inHarmony, pardon me. Yes, I meant to say that was a Freudian slip. You can go to inHarmony.com.
inHarmony.com
check it out.
is our website. 2
Yes.
most powerful words in the English language. I am, because anything you put after
I
it,
am.
you are. So why not be in harmony with the world around you? So I am inHarmony.com/. We'll get your links down in the show notes. Absolutely.
Super. Anything else you want to leave
I'm
with
super
my
honored.
audience?
I'm so grateful, Jay, for this conversation. For everybody that's listening, be kind to yourself. Give yourself a little bit of grace. Relax. Life is just not as stressful as you're making it, I promise. And I know that because I make my life about as stressful as can be. And the reality is, in all instances, take a deep breath. This too shall pass. Be kind to yourself. and give yourself the best opportunity to live the best life possible. It's all in there. Great. Jay, I'm grateful for our time together. Thank you.
Same here, man. The second time was even better than the first.
Let's do a third. I'm ready. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, we'll do it again. No question about it. So my guest again, Craig Goldberg. Can't thank you enough, man, for giving us your time, your wisdom, your love, your passion. Thank you for what you're doing for humanity. I'm so excited for my users to get to use your products, and of course, myself, my family, because it is life-changing, and we need to bring more love and peace to the world. And so grateful that you're doing that. So as I always say, Triple P Nation, love you guys, appreciate you all. As I always say, you be you, just be the best you. And I promise you will always empower your dreams, ignite your passion, and accelerate your prosperity. Until next time, be well.